Yes.
Good evening and namaskar.
Namaskar.
Welcome to Broker Ki Paathshala Season 2. And today we are going to have a session 7. And it gives me immense pleasure that I am on my home ground. Yes, my friend, the speaker is from Mumbai, very close to me, Mr. Ramprasad Padhi, Realtor Ramprasad Padhi. And before we start interacting with him, जैसे हम हर सेशन में करते हैं, we start our session with the prayer. So please join me in prayer. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sarvepi Sukhina Santu, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Paschantu, Ma Kashit Dukhama Pyuma. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karvavahe, Tejasvi Navaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you friends and namaskar once again. ब्रोकर की पाठशाला में आप सबका स्वागत है। आज मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है क्योंकि काफी वक्त से बहुत सारे लोग मुझे पूछते थे कि आप हिंदुस्तान के अलग अलग सिटी से आप स्पीकर बुला रहे हैं, लेकिन आपकी अपनी सिटी बोरीवली, खास करके वेस्टर्न सबब और एरिया ग्रुप से अभी तक कोई नहीं आया है। तो आज मुझे लगता है कि हमारी जो मैच है वो होम पिच के ऊपर, होम ग्राउंड पे है। आई एम इंडीड वेरी ग्रेटफुल टू वेलकम माय डियर फ्रेंड Ramprasad Padhi, Realtor Ramprasad Padhi. Please welcome him with a thunderous loud round of applause. Ramprasad, I have known him almost 24 years, and he is right now celebrating his 25th year of journey of real estate broking. And I've known him very close. I have seen his growth. He's somebody who is, of course, a realtor. He's a consultant. He's a trainer. He's known for his, innovation. He's somebody who is always inspiring many people around us. He's someone who has adopted change very fast, who is passionate about technology. I think he's one of those few realtor in India who has a lot of liking for technology, and he's out there to spend more time and money to know more about technology, what is happening in real estate with the new technology. And one of the finest thing about him, which is very, very amazing, he's a great biker, and a dear friend, Ramprasad. I have been learning so many things since last 24 years, being part of area group and being very close to you. And it gives me immense pleasure on behalf of all the viewers and the team of Broker Ki Paathshala. I welcome you at this 7th session of season 2 of Broker Ki Paathshala.
Thank you, Vinod. Those are very, very generous words. I think it's a very good opportunity for me to be here because it's a wonderful platform you have thought about. As far as I know, in my limited sphere of training, and this is the first time a realtor or a real estate consultant has taken this initiative. Normally, it is organizations that do training and all. So you took the bar higher. I will tell you, my training is only inspired by you. So I became a trainer around 7 years back. Gail Lyons had come to India and I trained under her and did a lot of trainings before her as well. But all thanks to you, I would see the way you were inspiring. I thought maybe I should do my bit in whatever I learn. It's all about sharing experience. I don't call it a training. We always call it a knowledge sharing experience that we are doing here.
Great, Ram. Thank you very much. And in last session we had Mr. Ashwin Unadkat from our estate agency Rajkot, and Mr. Paresh Gajera, who is the president of Rajkot Builder Association, and we had an amazing conversation and interaction. So every time I am interacting with a broker from different city, what we are getting on this platform is one thing is common. And each one of them are very, very successful in their sphere. But they are coming from different background, different education, different culture, different locality, different rules of the game in real estate at different city. And when they are sharing those things, I think that is really helping each one of us who are all the viewers across the country, and making them better realtor moving ahead.
Yes.
So I'm sure your journey, as I know very close, this is going to be one of the finest session today, and I'm sure many of you know Ram Prasad as a tech guru, as a biker, somebody who has always done some international transaction. But I think you will listen to him today, and you will find some new outstanding moments of his life while riding on this journey of a realtor since last 25 years. So Ram, first let me ask you: are you from Mumbai? Where are you from? Tell us
Yeah,
about your
basically, I
background.
am born and brought up here. I've been in Mumbai all my life. So my family is from Orissa. We are all from Orissa. So born, brought up, been in Borivali. So you can say I'm a true Borivalite
Yeah.
for the last 51 years almost.
What about your family, your parents?
Yeah, so I have my mom, two brothers, both are younger. I'm the eldest of all three. My dad is no more. My dad used to be in the Indian Navy. So we all come from a defense family. My dad was on INS Vikrant in the Indian Navy. That time they had something called a short service commission.
Wow.
So he joined as a cadet, and for 16 years he was in the Navy and he was on Vikrant. Then he took retirement, got married, and then became an entrepreneur. So my middle uncle, he was in the IRS. He retired as the Central Excise Commissioner in Aurangabad. My eldest uncle was again in Navy, but based in Visakhapatnam, and he was in submarines. He was in Russia for 14 years.
Wow.
So we are all from a defense family. I call myself as the black sheep who became an entrepreneur. And then my brothers, they run a successful business of manufacturing embroidery machine spare parts, and we export them as well. Plus, they trade in embroidery machines. So I handle the back end part of the business. I'm not too much active. And of course, then my family is my wife Manisha, who assists me with my business, who's a director with Mumbai Property Consulting Private Limited, handles the admin, handles the back part. And yes, blessed with two lovely kids. My son is Aditya Padhi. He is a 23-year-old fine gentleman now, having done his Bachelor in Financial Markets from NM. He's completed level 2 of CFA USA. Third exams are in May, and once he clears that, I think it will be a different league. My daughter just started college 6 months back in the 11th standard.
Very good. So I think coming from such a amazing background, how could somebody think about joining real estate? That to real estate brokerage.
Yes, absolutely.
Realtor?
So what happened, Vinod, is I'll put some things first. Is when I did my MBA in 92, 94 from Wellingtons, and I started my real estate company. And whenever I used to give my car to someone, I had my qualifications written, and someone would say, "Oh, MBA karke dalali ke dhande mein you wasted a seat," that kind of thing. So let me go back another 7, 8 years back. I was in the 12th standard. So I've always been fascinated by real estate. The reason is, what fascinated me is how a land can be converted into a building. A building can become a home or an office for people. That time I didn't have office in mind, but home. And it creates a legacy for people to live on and create the lifestyle, stay. And a building has a life of 40, 50, 60 years. So for a developer who's creating it, it's such a big thing. And a real estate consultant who, allows a client to own that home and make his dream come true. Because that point of time, if I remember well, there were no home loans and all, and people used to buy the first home when they were 45 of age, when they were 50 of age. कि पूरे जिंदगी का savings जमा किया and लोगों से loan inofficial लिया, friends, relatives और borrow करके घर लिया. To be associated with that kind of the biggest decision in your life, which is even bigger than marriage, was such a dignified work, and it was such satisfying. So I got interested early on, probably in the 11th and 12th standard, and you'll be surprised to know I did my first deal when I just gave my 12th standard exam.
Wow.
Yes. So I gave a house to one of my college professors. I was already networking those days. Those were not the days of the internet, the LinkedIn and BNI. But you had something called the Nukkad. No. So everyone has grown up here seeing what Nukkad serial is. You remember Ganchu the Bikari?
Yeah, I know.
Everyone, yes. So Nukkad mein sab milte the, to wahi पेड़ के तले ब्रोकर्स इंटरेक्ट करते थे, जेब में एक डायरी हुआ करती थी, एक पेन हुआ करता था जिसमें सब लिखते थे. So that is the place we knew all of one. एक cutting chai we used to exchange listings. हम listings अभी बोलने लगे, listing उस जमाने से exist करता. So I used to get a hang because college was like 3-4 hours and I used to start. Luckily for me, I had few friends in Gokhale College where I studied in Borivali who were developers, sons and daughters, you know. So I actually got to see how buildings are made that point of time, and that increased my fascination a bit more. So I did my first deal. Guess what? 2,60,000 rupees ka deal. One bedroom hall kitchen, Wazirana ka Borivali. I got a brokerage of exactly 5,200. And what did I do? Next day, I went and bought a motorcycle for 4,800.
Wow.
And that one passion and another passion got connected. And that's how I started. So in 3 years of my graduation, on an average, I did 2 deals per year, enough to have fuel in the bike and freak out with friends.
Excellent. So when we say now Mumbai Properties, so how would you define your organization today?
So we call ourselves as a real estate advisory company. We call ourselves as a true blue consultant. I somehow don't gel well with the word broker. If you read the word broker, you know, it denotes something else. And we have been used by a lot of misnomers like dalal and all. But if you look at our true nature of the job, it is of a consultant. We are a true blue blood consultant in the real sense, where you actually consult people on, is it the right time to buy? Should you be really buying? Should you be just keeping the money in the bank, not pay me anything? But I am looking at your interest. So I would say that we are advisor in the truest sense. We work a lot with the corporate world. So I've been working with corporates for close to 25 years. I started my career with a French bank, and you know, it was a good start. And thanks to my studies in MBA, marketing, finance, and my degree in law, I got a opening in one of the foreign banks. And in the first year itself, we were able to close around 21 transactions with that single bank, which were residential, yes. But if it gave me an insight into how the corporate world works. Now, I was very clear in the first year of my practice that I want to select the clients I want to work with. Because I studied 5 hard years, 3 years of a degree in law and 2 years of MBA, to ensure that I have full knowledge of what I'm doing. I'm able to advise. So it is not like, you know, a compounder working at a doctor's dispensary relying. I actually went through the whole doctorate so that my clients get true advice. And I realized early on that the normal client most of my friends dealt with had a deal to do. They gave us money, but there was no credibility. And the most important, there was no recognition for the work you do. Whereas in the corporate sector, you not only get paid on time, but you are recognized for what you do and the talent you have. And you get rewarded by way of a referral or empanelment on that company if you do the job right. So it is all about learning on the job, doing it right. So Mumbai Properties is a company, we call ourselves a boutique company, a small boutique company by choice, who works with corporates, we work with expats. We work with referral clients a lot, who are already my clients for the last 25 years. So we have a lot of clients who are mandated with us. Today, we can actually boast of more than 150 mandated individual clients who will only do a deal through Mumbai Properties. So we manage their properties on their behalf. So this is what Mumbai Properties is all about. And we are slowly growing and trying to get into multi-suburbs now.
So you initially started with, if I'm not wrong, with commercial space and rental with the corporates.
So Vinod, my first tryst with real estate was definitely residential. But when I dealt in residential and I got into commercial real estate, because this corporate, so I remember a bank called Barclays in those days. There was another bank called BNP Paribas, and we had a very old bank called UTI. You know, it was not 25, but these were the banks that came to us asking for commercial space when they saw our expertise. And that is the point of time, you know, we got into commercial real estate as well. Yes, rental was a very small business. So I had a lot of my area friends ask, "Are you're dealing in a 4,000 rental or 5,000 rupees rental? Why rental?" But rental is one thing, you know, rental is your regular bread and butter that keeps going. Rental was quick decisions, rental was quick money coming in, and rental was something that kept repeating. I mean, if a client buys a house from me for the next 5, 6, 7 years, he will not buy another house from me. But a guy renting out for 2 years again needs to either relocate or take a bigger house.
Excellent. Can you share something that if there are our viewer who are new and young entrepreneur, they are confused. They're now real estate has a different verticals.
Yeah.
Initially, when you started, there were two or three, maybe residential, commercial, and retail. Retail also was not that big compared to what it is today. So, if somebody wants to enter commercial office space leasing, how do they, how do they contact the leads, and how do they get the business? What
So
are
I would, yeah,
oh,
sorry. Well, I would say that the commercial real estate space is extremely competitive. It is much more competitive than the residential real estate. The reason is you have very set players there. On the top of the hierarchy are the IPCs. So we have close to 12 IPCs in India today. Normally, for any transaction above 5,000 square feet, IPCs do invariably get into the picture. Then you have a lot of commercial real estate, we call them CRE, commercial real estate firms that only focus only on commercial premises. And then you have the regular realtors who do commercial and residential as well. In commercial, your strength has not to be your inventory or properties. Your strength has to be your research. It is very important for you to truly understand your customer's requirement. Understanding a corporate office requirement is very different from understanding a family's requirement to move into an apartment. So in commercial real estate, the number one is you need to have a very good research on your hand. Number two, you have to be the location specialist wherever you're. So I look, Andheri East is one of my major micro market where I deal. I would tell you, you need to have knowledge on every building there. You need to have knowledge on every tenant in most of the building. You need to have knowledge of what are the floor plate size. A lot of commercial real estate is a lot of jargon which you have to learn. Commercial real estate is also linked, to people. So for a corporate, it is very important when they are looking at new offices or when they are looking at relocating offices, where is their employees coming from? And now we are in a new generation. We are in the pandemic. We are in the post-pandemic. So there is a new term which has now come up called satellite offices. So this is the latest offshoot. Let me spend a minute saying what are satellite offices. So big companies. So I have this huge company that's got around 30,000 square feet in Vilepale, but now because of the trains and other issues, people can't travel. This company shuts down that office and takes 6 satellite offices of 5,000 square feet each, spread from the south end of Mumbai to the north end of Mumbai, each 4,000-5,000 in sizes. They have something called a hot seat there or a hot desk, which really means there is no allocated seat for any employees. You just go plug in your laptop in whichever is empty space and start working and go back home. You go there twice a week you work from home. Now, which office do you go to? The one that is nearest to your home. So these kind of satellite offices are the latest one that are coming in. And the rest of the 3 days you work from home. So these all requirements are very essential. You also need to know what is the efficiency of each floor plate. Very important, are these buildings today, in today's generation, energy efficient? Are they LEED certified? What is your capex, your capital expenditure gonna be when you take a bare shell or a warm shell? Or if your landlord is making a fully furnished for you office, is it worthwhile giving him 27 rupees a square feet extra? So there's a lot of economics. I would say there's a lot of number crunching you have to do. So when you're doing commercial real estate, it will make a lot of sense that you do some proper commercial real estate courses that are available, number one. Number two, you do a lot of research in the background, knowing which kind of, it is important to know which are the companies which are coming to your city or coming to your micro market. Why are they coming? Are they downsizing? Are they upscaling? Are they having multiple offices? So we call it in economics the motive to buy. So here you need to know the motive to rent. Also, you will have to have a very good equation with developers of commercial real estate and investors of commercial real estate. Tie up with architects who do commercial real estate, because that is one relationship connection you can have where you can refer business and they can refer business. BNI taught me that relationship connectors, So these kind of things are required. There's a lot of hard work compared to a residential. I would say a commercial real estate transaction takes almost twice the time of a typical residential, because here decision making is decentralized. Whereas in a residential, it's a family that takes a decision, and mostly it's the woman of the house. But in commercial real estate, there are various hierarchies there, and you need to satisfy all the levels before they actually close. But yes, you're compensated by big numbers. I mean, the biggest of the house someone will deal will be probably 3, 4, 5,000 square feet carpet. In commercial, transactions start at 4, 5,000 carpet, going up to 100,000, 200,000. So I remember mine, the biggest number is we've done 72,000 square feet.
And just for the benefit of the our viewer, what kind of terms in terms of brokerage in commercial?
Yeah. So as a side, the market has now become very competitive. So it is no longer the original terms that were there. In a regular shops and all, where you have the retail customer, you would have the the benefit of asking for 2-3 months, but that's not the case anymore. So typically corporates will pay you a 1 month's rent of brokerage for a period of 3 years, and for a period of 5 years they'll probably pay you 1.5 to 2 months. Now when you do mandates come at a price, but mandates, it's a two-way sword. So you get benefit of continuous business, but they will fix a fee with you. But the best part I have learned about commercial real estate is you can get a lot more brokerage from the owners, because owners want quality tenants all the time. And if you have a good pool of talent, quality tenants with you, we've had big transactions where owners have paid even 3 months rent as brokerage, provided there was a lock-in of 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So I have known cases where for a 9-year lease, the landlords have paid us 3 months as brokerage. So anywhere between 1 month to 3 months is what the landlords pay, provided you give him what he wants, and companies will pay you between 1 to 2 months brokerage for any agreement between 3 to 5 years.
Excellent. Ram, over the periods, last 25 years, when you started and where you are today, there's a lot of change happening in our industry and the way we used to market our real estate. So what is the major changes you found, initial stage and now, and what kind of activities your company is doing in marketing?
Vinod, I couldn't hear you properly with the connection. Can you repeat the whole question again?
I said, in last 25 years, marketing of real estate, earlier it was not a very, very important tool, Yeah. We were getting, because properties were limited and people were coming from, from all sides, and they wanted the property. You didn't have that much expenses for the marketing. Compared to, so earlier, what kind of marketing activities you were doing in your company, and what kind of marketing activity one needs to do now, and what you are doing?
So 25 years back, business was being in a different manner. Most of the real estate consultants are local in business. That means if someone was in Borivali, he used to be in the Borivali micro market, at the most get to local areas. Thanks to association like area, the Association of Real Estate Agents, we would actually trust other area members. And if I was in IC Colony, I will go to Kandivali, I'll go to Malad where my area members were entered. But that was not proactive marketing. We actually sat in office waiting for the clients to come. We had a board on the shop and people come in. At the most, you get paper ads. Internet came in close to 30 years back in India, but the real estate bandwagon got into 20 years back. So I was an early adopter to technology. I got into technology 25 years back when I started my business. You'll be very surprised to hear that, the first office was rented for 3,000 rupees a month. But day one, I spent 95,000 rupees on buying an 8286 computer, which was a big box like this. And my landlord is like, are you going mad spending? I said, no, that is where my business is going to come. So I remember a project being launched by Rajesh Developers those days, where I sat and made a flyer from on that computer and took printout and went and took hundreds of Xerox, because we didn't have a proper brochure 25 years back. And that pamphlet was distributed to more than 300 families in IC College. So that was the way we used to do marketing. There was no mobile. I remember pager coming in quite late. And whenever some technology came, I just went and splurged and bought the first thing. But even when mobile came, it was 16 rupee 80 paisa per minute, whether you receive a call or you make a call. So those were the days. Your only business were the people you knew, or the people who came through the paper advertisements or the pamphlet advertisements. Most of the brokers lacked the guts to go to societies and other places to ask for business. That was not, we were not the direct marketing Eureka Foster salesman who comes with a vacuum machine and shows how dirty stuff. We never do business like that, because our product is very high valued. Later on, it started to getting online. When I said online, the initial days, you did not have something called portals. They were online. advertisement websites, very few of them. In fact, there was like classifieds online, like in Yahoo and Hotmail, and there were some portals which had classified. You could put ad there. You would think someone sees that and comes to you. But then slowly you had internet, which defined the market. Internet became a marketplace close to 18 years back. That's when all the big players started coming into the picture. We saw this technology coming very early on because I was, very curious on, forget India, how does the market operate abroad? Because in US and Canada, you cannot practice real estate unless you become a realtor by doing a course, by doing some 100 hours of practical training and passing your exam and getting a realtor license from a local city or state association. So naturally, everything was very regulated here, but here there was nothing. So in fact, I went 18 years back to NAR asking for a membership, and they said, we don't have a membership for international members, but me and your guest next week, Mr. Chetan Narayan, pursued with the help of Naresh Malkani from India Property to NAR. And you'll be happy to, and delighted to know that 17 years back, February, I and Chetan Narayan, we were given the realtor certificate from the US. I still have that proudly at my back, you can see there. So that's how business started growing. We started then doing our website, our own website. And then there were listing sites. So indiaproperty.com was among the first listing sites close to 16 years back. So I took the most premium package that point of time, paying 1,50,000 rupees, per annum, which is unthinkable. And we were only 5 of us in Mumbai who took that package. But we used to actually get hardcore leads into our pocket. And guess what? Those leads were not from the India, they were from NRIs. Because the way Naresh Malkani of India Property, who's a realtor in the US, in Washington, even today, he has been doing business there and he wanted to bring that vision here. And we collaborated with him. And he also made my first website. So my first website was not mumbaiproperties.com. It was a very catchy domain name called realtyindia.com. He made a website, and that website also started getting us hit. When I studied, I said, why not have our own website instead of linking to someone? And around 18 years back, mumbaiproperties.com was born. And till now, that is one of our biggest lead generator, and also inbuilt CRM that tracks how the clients come in and what we do with the client. What is my dashboard in the business? See, for every broker, your business dashboard is the most important. We probably deal with 100, 200 leads on a month. Is it possible for to remember here? No, it is not. So a CRM or a dashboard is which gives you a very clear thing of the business. So that's how we went on. Then naturally you had the magic bricks, you had the Sulekhas, and you have the Quicker of the world. And internet became popular. As from internet, from the big screen, we went to the small stupid screen. We call it smart, but it's no longer smart. So we went to the stupid screen, which keeps us glued us for hours. And now your house hunt or your commercial real estate hunt also starts from the screen. So that is how the business have transitioned. And we moved along from the conventional marketing method to the digital marketing method and the social media marketing method. And now, yes, we have something like WhatsApp business, which is again getting you good results, provided, we know how to use WhatsApp business. So we have this whole cycle took us 20 years back, but we started the journey 20 years back on the digital bandwagon.
What is your advice to the brokers out there who, where do they invest in marketing in today's time?
So I would really recommend that everyone. So each of the training that I go, I said 4 things you need to do quick. One is get a smartphone with smart apps. Get those apps which are really necessary, the note-keeping apps, the calendar apps. There are some inbuilt CRM on the phones available. Many of your listing sites are also available on the phone, number 1. Number 2, get your own branded website. Today, when you give a visiting card to any of your client, he reads your visiting card in reverse. So Vinod Bhai, he will first read sqft.co.in. Then he will read Vinod Thakkar at sqft.in, then your mobile number, then your name, and then your company name. When they do that, they're actually judging you on who is Vinod Bhai, what does Vinod Bhai do? Is he my kind of a realtor? In just 5 things that he read, he makes his mind. So your make or break happens in the first 15 seconds he's reading your card. And guess what? If your card doesn't have your website or it has a freak Gmail ID, now imagine Vinod Bhai has got Vinod Thakkar 9061 at gmail.com. I would think Vinod is not serious about investing 2,000 rupees in a branded email ID. Is it worth me putting money of 2 crores to buy? So that's the way people judge you. So these are a first have. You should have your own branded email ID. You should have your own website. Invest in a good CRM. And most important, before you get into all this, also invest in a good backend. See, ultimately, we are all entrepreneurs. We are out on the field doing work, showing properties to client, getting transactions done, and getting money to the company. So if you're going to sit and do everything all by yourself, where will you have time for doing high payoff activities? So I will say you should only focus those 6 hours in a day, which are high paying. Like my worth per hour is probably 20,000 rupees per hour. So I should be only doing those kind of work, talking to SEOs, CEOs, SXOs of companies, getting new leads, showing higher end property. I shouldn't be getting down doing data work on my computer, which many entrepreneurs make the mistake of doing. So always invest in a backend. Your backend is not very expensive. Like in a town like Mumbai, I would say 15,000 a month, a fresh graduate, and one laptop for him is enough for you to get your work started. So these are the 4 essential I will really recommend. Even an upcoming entrepreneur should invest, because हमारे धंधे में विनोद भाई एक बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है. हमको लगता है हमारा धंधा बिना इन्वेस्टमेंट का है.
अभी नहीं है.
अभी नहीं. अपने को लगता है अपना इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी बहुत है. नहीं, एक बहुत अच्छा ब्रांडेड ऑफिस, आपका ब्रांड के साथ सिंक होना चाहिए, जो आपके विजिटिंग कार्ड पे आपके ऑफिस के चारों बाजू दिखते रहना चाहिए. क्लाइंट जब आएगा, एक प्लेजेंट एटमॉस्फेयर होना चाहिए. जब आपके ऑफिस में आपका क्लाइंट आता है, उसको लगना चाहिए ही हैज कम टू द राइट प्लेस एंड ही विल नॉट गो एनीवेयर एल्स. प्लस ये बैकएंड होना, ये बेसिक इन्वेस्टमेंट्स कर, they will pay you off very quickly. Because I have seen a lot of new brokers who come in thinking that मैं पहले कुछ कमा तो लूं और फिर मैं डालूंगा. But it is always givers gain. You have to first give and then you will receive.
True. Very well said, Ram. Friends, as I continue conversation with my dear friend Ram, you may put your questions. If you have any question in the chat box, once we complete the conversation, we will take on the question. So Ram, you said, I take it from there where you said, पहले कमाए उसके बाद में खर्चा करे. It never happened. And I distinctly remember you started your journey in 1994. And 1997, we formed this wonderful organization called Area Group, the Association of Real Estate Agents. So I still know there are brokers out in the market that they think कि मैं पहले अपना करूँ, उसके बाद में association वगैरह क्या join करने की जरूरत है. Do I have the time to give to the association? And you joined Area Group as a founder member at a very early entrance, I would say, in the market. So what is your experience and how did Area Group help you to grow in your journey?
So there are 3, let me put it this way, there are 4 contributors to my success today. One have been my parents, who have had, a big influence on my mind, who allowed me to study till the time I wanted to. When my dad says, there is no need for you to hurry up and complete your studies and start giving me back what I invested. You can still study till the end. That is the reason I did my graduation, my post-graduation and my MBA. And you are aware, I still today study. So RICS is my latest course. So that is one. Blessed with a wonderful family, my wife, who always inspires me to do more in spite of she wants me early in the house back from office. One is friends like you, fellow realtors like you, whom I cultivated through association. I always keep saying that you need a network of like-minded entrepreneurs whose goal is only one. So we all believe that we are collaborators and not competitors. लोगों के mind में बहुत, इनफैक्ट मैं जब भी बाहर जाकर एसोसिएशन का बात करता हूँ, लोग बोलते हैं यार कॉम्पिटिटर लोग एक टेबल पे बैठ के खाना कैसे खा सकते हैं? आपके क्लाइंट्स तो सेम है, आपका इन्वेंट्री भी सेम है. ऐसे धंधा करने का तरीका अलग है ना. तो हम लोग वो सीखते हैं कि एक दूसरे का धंधा करने का तरीका. और ये एसोसिएशन ऐसा कि यहाँ लोग बांटते हैं. आप झोली लेके आओगे, भर के तो जाओगे, और आप खुद कितना लेके जाओगे आपको नहीं पता. तो एसोसिएशन, I want to share, Vinod bhai, this is one thing I think very, very few people know is, yes, I was among the first few members to join Area Group. But I was not present in the first meeting. The second meeting was by one of our developers called Rajesh Developers at his office, very formally announced. So, I had this gentleman called Madhu Junnarkar from Area Group, who pushed me, "Arey, aaja, ek association bana hai, tere kaam ka hai, tere ko maza aayega aur tere ko." And I just came. I said, "Oh, I'm intrigued by what is an association." So I came to that meeting, and Ajay bhai declared कि हाँ ये association ban gaya itne logon ka. There was a formalization at his office. And you know what happened? That day he changed his pattern of brokerage from 1% to 2%. Because आज के पहले उसके पहले राजेश बिल्डर 1% देता था. I was the first beneficiary because 7 days back I had given a token in one of his building at Raj Valley for a 3-bedroom. In those days, a transaction of 30 lakh rupees. And he declared 2% and he declared my name. इसको सबसे बड़ा फायदा हुआ. I am like मैं second meeting में आया हूँ और मेरा तो 30,000 का फायदा एक ही दिन में हो गया. Now what more? So I came with a mind not to receive but to give, and I received. And that is what happens. You know, when you talk to the universe in a language of giving, the only thing you do is you receive in return. So I joined Area Group as one of the founder members. I was lucky to have elected a couple of times to the committee. I have been serving right from the PRO to the committee member, and 2016-18 was a watershed year in my career when I was elected as the president of Area Group. Those were the learning years of how a collaboration can work wonders from you, number one. Number two lesson, you start operating in as many offices, as many members of it. तो आज मैं बहुत proudly बोलता हूँ कि मेरा मुंबई के अंदर 300 ऑफिस. अगर मुझे अंधेरी इसमें कोई धंधा करना है तो मैं विनोद भाई के ऑफिस में अंधेरी में जाकर उनका कॉन्फ्रेंस में यूज करके मेरा ट्रांजैक्शन कर देता हूँ. जब विनोद भाई का स्टाफ मुझे चाय पानी भी पिलाएगा. You know, that kind of collaboration happens. Second, I was able to do a lot of business in area which I never thought was possible. Because every area, because of area association, I got 2-3 trusted members जिससे आपका कनेक्शन का. तो I will really say कि 350 से सबका कनेक्शन नहीं जमता, लेकिन आपका 50 से भी कनेक्शन जम गया. I will say आपको seriously अगर आपने उसको काम किया उस connections के साथ ना, आपका business triple to minimum होता है. Because आप, yes sir.
Apart from business, I think Area also joined later on in 2008 with NIR India.
Yeah.
National association. It is the
yes. So that was again a very big turning point because I remember Norman Flinch coming to India, you know, with his advisors from the US, and of course Naresh Malkani ji brought him there. And I remember meeting chairman of NIR India, Ravi Verma. They had come to Mumbai. You, me, Vajubhai Makwana, and all had gone to Oberoi to meet them. And then we joined them a year later. But I think it was one of the truest collaboration that happened, that was intercity. So today, NIR India is in 42 cities across India. I am on the governing board of NIR India, thanks to Area Committee for sending me there. And today I'm the West Zone head. That means Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Goa. I have 17 city associations under me. That got me an opportunity of work, knowing how is it to work in Rajkot, Surat, Goa, Nagpur, Nashik. I've been to this place just to understand. And the kind of collaboration that happens instantly, because one thing with this is you have an immediate trust. आदमी आँख बंद करके आप पे भरोसा करता है क्योंकि आप NIR इंडिया के मेंबर हो, आप एरिया ग्रुप के मेंबर हो. जब तक आप आपके कार्य से उस भरोसे को डाउन नहीं करोगे, वो आदमी हमेशा आपको एकदम ऊपर चोटी पे रखेगा. So with this kind of collaboration, suddenly my business grew. I now tell people Mumbai. In fact, मेरा जो पंचलाइन है ना विनोद भाई, इसमें BNI में, Mumbai Properties works in 42 cities across India with a collaborating network of more than 5,000 brokers. We are happy to serve all your real estate needs across the cities. Yeah, this is my 32nd in every BNI meet, and even training. I had a training today before this. We talked there. So this is number one. Number two, very important, जो miss होता था हर जगह और area ने इसका pioneer लिया thanks to people like you, is education. आज से 25 साल पहले कोई ब्रोकरेज का सोचता था ना सर, देयर वाज नो एजुकेशन अवेलेबल. इंटरनेट पे जाओ, कुछ पढ़ो जो आपको समझ में आता है. सब अमेरिकन स्टैंडर्ड, सब कैनेडियन स्टैंडर्ड में होता है. आप उसको अपनाओ, ये करो. उसके बाद लोकलाइज करने के बाद आप उसको यूज कर सकते थे. Thanks to association like Area and other city association and NIR India, education became available. Because one thing we all real estate consultants should know कि जिस दिन आपने सीखना बंद कर दिया, उस दिन आपने जीना बंद कर दिया. Every day is learning. For me, this Paathshala is the biggest learning for me rather than everyone here else. I'm learning a lot from what Vinod Bhai is asking me. मेरे को मेरे खुद के बारे में बहुत कुछ मालूम पड़ रहा है. So education was very, very important. Networking is 2, collaboration is 3. 4th is getting into CSR activity. मतलब हर ब्रोकर को नहीं याद रहता सर CSR क्या होता है, बट ये एसोसिएशन में रहने के बाद पता चलता है कि गिविंग का एक और साइड है कि अगर हम लोग इतना कमा रहे थे, पार्ट ऑफ द इनकम वी शुड आल्सो डिवोट टू पीपल हु आर नॉट सो लकी. सो एसोसिएशन लाइक एरिया, बिकॉज ऑफ द CSR, वी गॉट इनटू CSR एक्टिविटी. We also got into, you know, helping each and other members by the expertise we have. So area mein I remember, this training sessions that opened up where people came and volunteered. जो उसको आता है, जैसे जयेश व्यास को spirituality का बहुत है, तो उन्होंने आके अपने spiritualism पे 2-3 sessions किए. तो this bhavana of giving is what I learned from area, and yes, NAR India as well.
Great. And I think there's another thing, area started, a one-day conference, and then once they joined NAR India is doing a national convention. Where, all the brokers coming across the country and being there for 2 days, and you as an area group has opportunity to host twice, I think, 2012 in Calcutta, and then
So,
2007.
I would say area is one of the lucky where, the convention came to us twice, and convention was the biggest learning opportunity. Learning in what sense? Organizing skill. एक कन्वेंशन होस्ट करना जिसमें 1200-1500 लोग आते 2 दिन, पूरे 6 महीने का मेहनत लगता है. Excuse me, I have a glass of water, please.
Yes, please.
Our organization skills got very tuned in. We got to meet so many people from not only across India but across the world. I remember जो Mumbai में last time हमारा convention हुआ था, we had 150 international realtors come from 35 countries. और उन सबसे हमारा कनेक्शन भी बना, और जिन लोगों ने उस कनेक्शन को जीवित रखा है और उस पे सींचा है, आज वो लोग इंटरनेशनल लेवल का रीलोकेशन का बिजनेस एक दूसरे के साथ कर रहे हैं. So convention was a good ground for not only training and education, but discovering what more potentials you have. And yes, you reached not only national borders, you also went to international borders. So convention, and I think area started this trend of having a single office, a single day programs, and went on to become, mini education sessions as well. So education and conventions have now become a life, and I think every association is now picking up whichever new association. So I'm mentoring a couple of new associations that are coming up. Because of this, they have started doing convention even before they start joining NAR India and local chapters.
So this is for all the viewers who are right now watching, and maybe later if you are watching this program, and if you are a realtor and if you are yet not a member of any local city association, I think this being a part of city association and in turn being a part of NAR India can really open a big opportunity for your lifetime. Only requirement is you should go and serve on that association. You don't just be a part of association as a member, but if you are taking initiative and to be part of the committee and then leadership, then it will definitely make a big difference in your personal and professional life. So you have gone through a lot of leadership at NAR India and area group also. And I'm sure that leadership and the success would have helped you in your own organization. So as a leader, what do you think? Because, in our business, people think that I'm broker, but I think because of this organization, you must have understood that what is the importance of a leadership in any organization. If you want to become a successful entrepreneur, I think being a great leader is a must. So what kind of leadership qualities you learn from this 24 years, and what kind of leadership one should have to become a successful entrepreneur?
In my opinion, I think leadership teaches you one thing: humility. Leadership teaches you that you're not above your team. Leadership also teaches you you're not the greatest asset this world has. Leadership teaches you to be humble. And best of all, leadership teaches you that every day in life is a learning experience. You never cease to learn anything. And right from the day you're born till the day you are here on earth, every day gives you something new. So every day offers a fresh perspective. It is our prerogative whether we want to look at that perspective. So when I was with area as the president, and now I'm the past president and with the zone head, few things that come up is, we will only be successful if we work well with people. If you understand people, if you understand their psychology, if you understand their basic needs. So, there is this fabulous thing called Maslow's theory of need hierarchy. So on the topmost level, when all your needs are satisfied, you actually work only for self-actualization. That is, your need to do more to the society. The earliest you convey this to your team, And the earliest your team sees that, that is the biggest need a person should have rather than the material, I think they automatically start performing not only great, but they create wonders in their life. Secondly is you need to give a lot of autonomy to the team members or the team you're leading. You have to trust them for the abilities they have. You have to pick them up for the abilities. So first is you should always select your team for the ability they have, for the attitude they have, because some skills can be taught, but attitude can never be taught.
Yeah.
Second is once you give them the autonomy, you should never interfere in the work. You may be a know-all, but it doesn't make sense for you to poke your nose every time. If you have given them the resources and the task, they will deliver. And if they don't deliver, the leader is always there to support. So this is very important that when the autonomy is given, delegation is done, you just wait for the results to come, let them do the work. If they get stuck anywhere, you are there as a last backup, but, let them struggle through that work. You should not give a helping hand right in the beginning. That is more like a spoon feeding. So avoid spoon feeding. Second is give them all the resources they want, because delegation without resources is nothing. They will never be able to do it. And coming down to the last important point, it is very important for a leader to develop more leaders. A leader should never look himself or herself as an infinite source of being at the top. In fact, you should start preparing for your successor the moment you become a leader.
Okay.
So by the time you're moving out, your successor is well in place. So a succession plan, even for a small organization, is very, very important, where the hierarchies are clearly mentioned, where the roles, yes, and in leader, RRA, we call it the roles, responsibility, and authority. That has to be clearly defined, because till your team doesn't have this defined, everyone will be in the dark what they have to do, or works overlap and then there are clashes, So putting a succession plan is very important for a leader the moment he comes in and not when he's moving out.
Great. And I think in your journey last 24 years, it is not one or two organizations which has made a difference. I think there are a lot of organizations and a lot of learning you have gone through from different organizations, be it a networking organization, be it a educational organization, be it a social organization. Would you like to share your thoughts with other organization you are associated, and what kind of education program you have gone through during your journey, so that will help other brokers also to do the same?
So as I said, I was always fascinated by this thing. I'm still fascinated to keep learning a lot more. So after my management, and so I did my management from Wellingtons, and before that I did my degree in law from Government College. Then I did some mid-management courses. So I joined Entrepreneurship Gurukul under Santosh Nair for 1.5 years. Yeah. That gave me a true grounding, because after 15, 16 years of business, you suddenly know that you're lacking so many things, It was like a mirror to me that why am I not so successful as I should have been? Then Shiv Khera has been a great motivator for me. I have practically completed all his curriculum, including the blueprint for leadership. I trained under the world famous Gail Lyons, who had specially come to India thanks to the convention we had at the Renaissance. And, it was a big thing. In Mumbai, there were hardly any students who were not willing to learn. And she went on to Delhi because there were a lot of people in Delhi. So I flew down to Delhi after the convention. I stayed in Delhi for 4 days, and I learned under her about realtors and how realtors. So I did the train the trainers realtor course under Gail Lyon. Then we had Mandan Hall and Benteng come to Mumbai, and luckily, area was privileged to host it for the rest of the country. And we had 200 participants who sat 2 full days, in Mumbai and the Tendulkar Club, and we learned all about what associate. We learned how a realtor should do business. And I remember Gail Lyons even came 8 years back in Pune, where I think almost 40 of us from Bombay went to Pune, and we stayed there. And for 2 days, we learned under her how to do your real estate business as a proper entrepreneur. So these are the few that I have been learning. I do a lot of online training as well. So Tom Ferry is my biggest influencer. You can find him on YouTube. So Tom Ferry, the other guy is Mike Ferry. These are two. And Gary Vaynerchuk, he's one of the biggest evangelists, if you can follow him on YouTube. These are the 3-4 people I keep regularly following. Dr. Bindra, of bada business. He's also equally, he breaks down business into bite-sized things which you can take it on a daily basis like a pill and get charged up. So these are the few people. I subscribe to a lot of magazines and newspapers and periodicals as well. And I've been a Realtor member for 17 years now. So Realtor.com is a huge resource. So I would recommend, in fact, here through your forum, that every real estate agent here should become a member of NAR USA. It is only $70 a year. बॉस रात का डिनर जाता है ना फैमिली के साथ, उतने बिल में साल भर का इतना ज्ञान आपको मिलेगा कि आपको लगेगा मैं 10 साल 20 साल से कर क्या रहा था. So that is one you should join. It is open to Indian real estate people now. Previously वो नहीं था, but thanks to NAR India Connection, it is now available. So that is one, where I keep a lot of my learning. So I normally dedicate a year, hour or hour and a half on an everyday basis after my office hours to keep learning back to these resources. And so many years, I have this habit of collecting a resource. So I have close to, Vinod, by now, 9,000 odd resources on real estate with me as a library. So I probably hold one of the biggest digital library now, which is 2 terabytes in size, if I have to tell you.
And I believe you are also part of BNI recently, and you also did the Landmark Forum, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. So Landmark Forum is something that changed my life 27 years back. I got motivated by someone to go and attend the Landmark session. A friend of mine invited me for the Tuesday evening. It truly inspired me. I immediately did the course. Then I did the advanced. From that day, 25 years, and Gopal Rao was my session leader, my forum leader. And today Gopal is the director of Landmark India. So, and I'm always happy to share that my wife has done the Landmark, my son has done the Landmark, my daughter has done the young Landmark. So she was only 12 years old when she did the Landmark. So we are all family of graduates. Whenever possible, I keep doing the continuing seminar, which is a session of 10 sessions over every week. And till now, I've done around 12 of them, including money, relationship, and all those things. That is one. And yes, BNI, I'm a late entrant. Only 14 months back, I joined BNI, but I was very lucky to get into a very nice chapter called BNI Alpha, which is a very old chapter, and 143. We are the 4th largest chapter in the world now, and very powerful networking happening. More than networking, it's become an education. So today afternoon, I was attending a BNI training. Yesterday, I attended one. Tomorrow, there are 2. So in the weekend, I would have attended 4 programs. Tomorrow is leadership teams and membership committee team. So these are the few things, yes. And I would say that Landmark Forum has had a profound influence on my life. If a part of it, I owe what I am today, especially the way of, sharing experiences and all, I owe it all Landmark.
So I think many of you must be wondering that, what you have lost in your life. I think while listening to Ramprasad, you must be wondering, "Arey yaar, maine to isme se kuch bhi nahi kiya. What am I doing in real estate?" And you also must be wondering that how much time this guy has. How can he do that? So many things at a time, and doing the business and being a successful entrepreneur, also being a part of NAR India, also being a part of BNI, so many organizations. I think this is what means, successful people. They have more time than an individual who are just thinking about doing something. But once you are in the game, I think you get a lot of time. So it's a time management which is very, very important. So now one important thing is in today's time, in our business, it is all about relationship with the customer. So what are few important things you do at your organization to see that your customer comes back to you?
Yeah. So one of the most important thing my management education taught me 25 years back, if you take care of the customer will always take care of you. So we had something called CRM initiative 20 years back. People had not heard of CRM in real estate. I was lucky to get, in fact, a package of CRM, big thanks to my website and my tie-up with Naresh Melkani, where, after a deal happens, we used to, in those days, have a scanner. 20 years back, I'm talking about. We used to scan all the documents of that client and make it into a PDF file and upload it on our website. And every client used to get a login name and password. What happens is he used to go to mumbaiproperties.com, log in with the username and password. And there what he sees, He sees all his documents and his transaction timeline, which is only private to him. No one else can see him. This was, I think, among the first initiative. Among the first is, I know few people like you do it. Yes, so I'm not the only one, but very few real estate people thought about it. And that was one big game changer for us. Imagine you're sitting somewhere and you suddenly need your house document. You log into your broker's website and see your house document. How easy is that? We are talking about cloud computing today. We were talking about that 20 years back we was doing it. After a deal is completed, normally what happens is most of the consultants here, once you get the check and you say thank you, and that's how the story ends. But for us, our story begins with that, because main transaction, that is now you cultivate this relationship for life. Because one thing is there, getting a new client via marketing is 10 times more expensive than retaining an existing client and getting a referral out of it. So हम लोग बोलते थे कि हमारा क्लाइंट नहीं है, हमारा क्लाइंट एक हैप्पी बर्ड है जो हमेशा हमारे नाम का गुणगान करता है, क्योंकि हमने उसको इतनी अच्छी सर्विस दी. बट अच्छा सर्विस देके रेफरल नहीं मांगना भी बहुत बड़ा गुनाह है. अब आप रेफरल मांगोगे नहीं तो मिलेगा नहीं. अब रेफरल मांगने के लिए आपको उस लेवल पे भी जाना पड़ता है. तो व्हाट डू यू डू? So it was all well intended that we wanted to make a happy family of Mumbai property, the community of 2, 3, 4, 5,000 people. So after the deal is over, I'll give an example how we work is, after the transaction is over, we send a thank you letter to the client, thanking him for he giving us an opportunity to do business with a keychain or a personalized gift. So I'll share what we have here. So this is like a sort of keychain we have. It's a leather keychain. So of course, this is for my bike, it's my sweetheart, so it's in her name. But we do it on the client's name, and we give them, it's a leather keychain by Raymond's, cost $1,500. But imagine the amount we get. This is hardly a smallest investment. So we used to make a keychain and we used to give them as a gift. And imagine a client getting a gift from a broker and a thank you letter. मतलब वो तो imagine ही नहीं कर सकता. उसके बाद वो नए घर में शिफ्ट होता है, तो उन दिनों में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का बिल अपने नाम पे करना, टेलीफोन अपने नाम पे करना, गैस तो उस जमाने में होता नहीं था. तो हम वो टेलीफोन और उसका फॉर्म का नाम चेंज करने वाला भी. और हम after 15-20 days, if he has shifted, we ask him, is he settled down? Does he need a maid? Does he need a driver? Does he need any other facilities? और एक goes without saying, हर जिस लोकेशन में हम काम करते थे, आईसी कॉलोनी, तो आईसी कॉलोनी का एक रेडी रेगनर हम उसको बना के देते थे, प्रिंट करके, लैमिनेट करके, जिसमें प्लम्बर, इलेक्ट्रिशियन, आजू बाजू में छोटे छोटे, तभी जोमेटो नहीं हुआ करता था, तो आपको आजू बाजू के 4 रेस्टोरेंट के नाम, ऐसे करके डायरेक्टरी हम बना देते, जिसका लैमिनेट करके उसको फ्रिज मैग्नेट के साथ देते, तो वो आदमी उसको फ्रिज के वहां लगा. इमेजिन ही सीज योर थिंग 24 hours a day. You are on top of his mind, because see, those are the things you really need when you move to a new area. Okay. 3 months after all this, and you are in touch with him regularly, you ask him for a feedback on your services. And it has to be a genuine. आप वाह-वाही सुनने के लिए feedback form नहीं भेजते हो. आप भेजते हो कि आपकी services में कमी कहाँ रह गई. You have to always learn where we are lacking rather than harp on what we are doing good. No, that will not help you. So we used to put parameters, and that's where we came to know we did not call them enough. We had less people in office to attend. Once the deal is done, we didn't have that much of time for him. We got busy. So ये जैसे से हमने सीखते गया, हमने फाइन ट्यूनिंग किया. और एक हम बेसिक डेटा शीट लेते थे. हस्बैंड वाइफ किड्स होते थे, तो हस्बैंड और वाइफ का डेट ऑफ बर्थ और उनका नेचुरली एनिवर्सरी और बच्चे लोग का भी. इसके अलावा और एक लेते थे. मोस्टली जब क्लाइंट शिफ्ट होता है ना, तो किसी दिन वो अगर आपका इतना अच्छा रिलेशन है, तो वो आपको अपने घर पे गृह प्रवेश के दिन, या कैथलिक्स में हाउस वार्मिंग डे बोलते, उस दिन वो बुलाता था. तो हम लोग उसको घर का बर्थडे बोलते हैं, और उसको अगले साल हैप्पी फर्स्ट बर्थडे टू योर होम. दिस इज द you completed 1 year in your home. How are things with you? Just these 5 lines make a lot of big difference. And that's when and I remember using this. Those were the days I had done a lot of deal for UTI Bank, senior people, senior vice president, around 7-8 deals. And we full-fledged went into this exercise. And trust me, Vinod bhai, after that, until we've done more than 150 transactions for Axis Bank, because this senior vice president went on to become the executive director of the bank. And he used to tell only one, real estate lena hai to Ramprasad se lena, nahi to nahi lena. And that was the way he used to refer people. His testimonial was the first testimonial in LinkedIn I have. And he sent me, he is the one who sent me testimonial on his letterhead without me asking. Yeah. So when I have that behind my back, it is the biggest. But the most learning was, small things make a big difference. So if you have, aged parents at home and if you're moving, it's better to have a part-time servant for a few hours. And if you can give the numbers of those, part-time or so now when I work in Powai, we have agencies that give you maids and driver. So we connect people to them, there are people who give you visa services. We connect people to them. So all these small measures, we had something called CRM, which is the strongest point. And what happens is when we have new business come in, now we actually track where does this business come from. हमारे बिजनेस में बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है विनोद भाई, हम लोग मैट्रिक्स को ट्रैक नहीं करते. आज के दुनिया में सब लोग बोलते हैं बिग डेटा. अरे सबसे बड़े डेटा पे तो हम लोग बैठे हैं सर. आज 25 साल के धंधे में 5000 क्लाइंट का ट्रांजैक्शन करके जो मैं डेटा पे बैठा हूं ना, कोई कंपनी मिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर देगा वो डेटा के लिए, क्योंकि वो आप ओन करते हो उस डेटा को. तो हमको ब्रोकर्स को ये डेटा को यूज करना चाहिए. कोई क्लाइंट को 3 साल हो गया घर में, 4 साल हो गया, बच्चे बड़े हो रहे, अपस्केल करना है, कोई जॉइंट फैमिली है, अभी थोड़ा सिचुएशन अच्छा नहीं तो 2-3 घर लेना. ये अगर आप उस पल्स के मूवमेंट पे हो ना, तो वो आपको हमेशा याद रखेगा. विनोद भाई अभी टाइम हो गया, अभी थोड़ा बच्चा बड़ा हो गया, अभी उसका शादी करने के लिए एक घर तो अपने को चाहिए, बोरेली नहीं परवड़ेगा. अब देसर मीरा रोड को तो 40 लाख हो, दैट इफ your ears are tuned not to the ground, this business is yours coming walking into your lap. आपको इसके लिए कोई मेहनत करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Customer relationship management is your lifeline of your business, and don't trust your brains or your memory. Either keep a software or use Excel. दिमाग पे ज्यादा जोर मत डाल.
Very true. Ram, recently, last 2020 was a very, very crucial year for everyone, for the personal life and also for the business. So, and also, this Broker Ki Paathshala is also an invention of lockdown, or pandemic. So, how do you see COVID? How was your experience, personal and professional? And what do you see from here moving ahead in real estate?
So, Vinod bhai, what's been happening with us is, all of us have had a very unpleasant experience with what has come. I wouldn't say it's a blessing in disguise. Certainly नहीं. लेकिन ये cloud का बहुत बड़ा silver lining रहा है. For people who took it on them कि मुझे इसमें से और क्या better कर सकता हूँ, उनके लिए चीजें बहुत अच्छी रही है. अगर आप देखो, जैसे एग्जांपल ले लो, अब हम Zoom पे, एक साल पहले Zoom को कौन पहचानता था सर? आज मोस्ट वैल्यूड कंपनी बन गया Zoom, बिकॉज हम सब यूज कर रहे हैं. एंड दिस विल स्टे. हाँ,
Zoom was there for long, but
yes, we didn't know. And Zoom in one day catapulted to a position where it is #1 communication company. Look at other company. Microsoft innovated Teams, Google innovated Hangouts. लोगों ने, जिन्होंने इनोवेशंस किए ना सर, और इस सिचुएशन से बाहर आ गए, उनके लिए ये पाथ चेंजिंग रहा है. और जो लोग उस सौरों में रह गए कि क्या आगे और अब क्या होगा, they are still there. So my thing is, we should learn from all this experience. We should look at what lessons are coming here. See, everything is a lesson only if you open that eye to look at the lesson and you innovate. That next time ऐसा कुछ आएगा तो मैं तैयार पहले से हूँ. So I wanted to give you a very small example of what we did, not thinking that pandemic ऐसे कुछ करेगा हमारे लिए, but we were among the first real estate consultant to go online and do video for houses. In fact, हमारे वेबसाइट पे 20 साल पहले सर फोटोग्राफ्स थे और वर्चुअल टूर लगभग 12 साल पहले थे. मेरा यूट्यूब चैनल 11 साल पहले बना था और हम लोग प्रॉपर्टीज का वीडियोस वहां डालते थे. ये हम करते थे जो हमारे क्लाइंट एक्सपर्ट्स है जो फॉरेन से आते हैं, तो न सिर्फ घर का टूर बट लोकेशन टूर. जैसे पवई अगर मुझे आपको दिखाना, विनोद भाई आप कैलिफोर्निया में रहते हो, पवई नहीं पता, तो हमने कैलिफोर्निया का पूरा शूट, हमने पवई का पूरा शूट किया था कि व्हाट इज हीरानंदानी, व्हाट इज लेक होम, व्हाट इज नाहर अमृत शक्ति, व्हाट इज रहेजा विहार, एंड वी पुट इट इन अ वीडियो एंड दैट्स द बेस्ट फॉर्मेट टू कंज्यूम. आज आप और मैं सामने बैठ के इंटरेक्शन कंज्यूम क्यों कर रहे हैं? वीडियो है. अगर यही आप सिर्फ ऑडियो होता तो इतना मजा नहीं आता था, और ये फोन होता तो बिल्कुल मजा नहीं आता था. So we were using videos for a long time. In fact, some of our videos have hits. Like I remember a video of the Imperial, you can go and type. It has 248,000 views today. And we get a lot of leads from video. Suddenly what happened is after pandemic, this became the norm. Client बोलता है पहला फोटो भेजो, वीडियो भेजो. मैं रिजेक्शन उसके बेस पे करके सिलेक्टेड हाउस देखने का मेरे पास टाइम नहीं और मेरे को एक्सपोजर भी नहीं करना है. So something that we are doing now, we came to know we were on the right track. मे बी हमने पिचिंग नहीं किया, हमने कैटेगरी था एक्सपर्ट और एनआरआई के लिए, इंडियन क्लाइंट के लिए क्यों नहीं किया? आज कोई क्लाइंट चर्चगेट से मेरे वहां क्यों फ्लैट देखने को आया, सर 7 वीडियो देख लो, सिलेक्ट करो क्या देखना है। ऐसे ही करके डिजिटल को आप आगे लेके, नाउ दिस इज नॉट मार्केटिंग, दिस इज बिकम एसेंशियल। मतलब ये नहीं करोगे, सो आई हैव टू शेयर समथिंग विद यू व्हिच आई हैव नॉट स्टार्टेड यूजिंग दिस वन। So now we've got this 360-degree camera.
Yeah.
We'll be first channel in the country to use a 360 tour. I've invested more than 150,000. ये मेरा सेल्फी स्टिक कल ही आया है सर, ये 10 फुट तक ये खुलता है सेल्फी स्टिक, इस पे कैमरा माउंट होता है, पूरा वर्चुअल टूर मैं इस पे कैप्चर कर सकता हूँ। आप आपके फोन पे सब देख पाओगे और आपके फोन पे जूम करके सीलिंग क्या है, फ्लोरिंग क्या है। Imagine when you give all this to people, na, they will not go. So COVID had a big learning from me that whenever it is time to invest in things, you should invest without thinking when I should take the first step. COVID ने ये भी सिखाया मुझे कि क्लिफ से मुझे जंप करना ना, बहुत सोचूंगा जिंदगी में जंप नहीं करूंगा। I should jump and my wings will develop as I go down. And by the time I reach down there, I would have developed my wings, which are already strong because I came on the highest point possible. So jumping right in with the thought, because हम लोग एक्शन पैरालिसिस में जिंदगी जीते, ये करेगा तो क्या होगा, वो करेगा तो क्या, हम लोग करते ही नहीं है कुछ, उस पे सोचते ही रहते। तो COVID taught me that if you're thinking of something, so I have actually been procrastinating putting so much of money into this packet, but now said nothing doing, this has become the norm. I should, abroad everyone is doing it, India no one is doing it, let us become pioneers and start doing it, and once things will follow, ये भी एक norm हो जाएगा, so that is one. Third, it also told me that, and which I've always believed in, but that you have to always live in today. Kal ho na ho wala chakkar hai. Always live. Don't postpone happiness. Don't save so much big that tomorrow you want to, buy a Maserati. आज आपका C-class ले लो, आज enjoy कर लो, आज बड़ा घर ले लो, आज family के साथ रह लो, एक कमरा extra था आज ले लो. Whatever it is, बोलता ना अभी वो गया कि चादर तक पहने, चादर से थोड़ा और फैलाओ, अनकंफर्टेबल बनो, वो आपके पास ऑटोमेटिक आ जाएगा.
Be unreasonable.
Absolutely. And also one thing, in real estate, lot of opportunities have opened up.
Right.
अभी हमको लगा सब लोग बोल रहे थे मार्केट डाउन डाउन, कहाँ दिसंबर का जो स्टैम्प ड्यूटी का पीरियड है ना, पीपल हैव डन, आई नो पीपल इंक्लूडिंग आवर कंपनी दैट पूरे 11 महीने में जो ट्रांजैक्शन नहीं हुआ लोगों ने वो दिसंबर में किया. अभी भी वो बूम चला आ रहा है. टुडे आई वाज इन ओबेरॉय's ऑफिस इन द मॉर्निंग, शुड हैव सीन द क्राउड inquiring for the new project where the RERA number has not come. Can you imagine? मतलब नंबर नहीं और लोग खड़े उधर की क्या होने वाला है. There is opportunity, yes, but you have to be laser focused to go there. आपको हर जगह हर चीज में हाथ डालना है. It will not happen as a human being. We have restrictions of reaching everywhere all the time and pleasing everyone. So don't think about pleasing all the time. Pick up your niche clientele, stick to them, give them super service कि वो आपके बिना जी नहीं सकते. वो आपके ब्रांड एम्बेसडर बन जाए एंड पैम्पर देम. मंदी तेजी तो आते रहेगा सर, और ऐसे पेंडेमिक्स तो आते रहेंगे.
आई थिंक मजा है राम, आपके साथ ऐसा लगता है कि बात करते रहे. बट वन थिंग विच इज, इफ आई डोंट स्पीक अबाउट द कॉन्वर्जेशन विल बी इनकम्प्लीट विथ राम, एंड दैट इज योर सेकंड लव. आई वुड से इट इज फर्स्ट लव और सेकंड लव, बट Ram, and when the moment we say Ram, there is automatically, bike is already there. So tell us about your passion for bike.
Yes, so my passion for bike started when I was in the 7th standard. I had this friend जिसके पास उस जमाने में लूना बोल के कंपनी है, उसका मोपेड आता था 40 सीसी 50 सीसी का. And I used to beg him that मुझे तुझे तेरे बाइक के पीछे बैठना है. Forget about riding, पीछे बैठना है. That was a craving I had. And he used to act like a big snob and say nahi dunga and all. It took me 1 year to convince him piche baith. And then the day I sat, I had made up my mind that the day I become eligible to ride, because I come from a defense family, so compliance is the biggest that my dad taught me. Never do anything that is illegal, or trust me, तब से आज तक कोई illegal काम मैंने किया नहीं है.
I want to hold you here. When we are doing this session at Broker Ki Paathshala, so we go deep into your family and your background. So that actually unveil your personality, who you are. Sometimes if you are a compliant and you are very disciplined, I think that is coming from your parents.
Yes.
So that is the culture of your family. Absolutely. So sometimes until and unless we know that, it doesn't come that way. So that is the reason we ask our speakers about their, their family and what they do, what they did in their life. Because being a child, you are surrounded with these values. And that is what is inculcated in you without you knowing. It comes in your subconscious mind. And that is how you represent the world, who you are, I think. So that is coming from there. Yeah, please carry on. Thank
So,
you.
you're right, that discipline, the integrity, and the ethical values are ingrained in our DNA, including my kids, that, we shouldn't speak lies. We shouldn't misrepresent. मतलब lies so लंबा हो गया, misrepresentation भी allowed नहीं हमारे life में. Say the things as they are. Never postpone truth. That's the biggest thing that my dad saw. So I was like, till the day I become eligible and I will buy a bike which is bigger than this bike. And you know what? I wanted to buy that bike with my own money.
Oh.
That is what happened when in 12th standard I gave my exam and I bought the Explorer for 4,800 rupees. अभी अलग बात है कि ग्रेजुएशन होते थे मेरे 3 बाइक चेंज हो चुके थे because that has become a passion and the only way was earn in real estate, buy a bike. And then of course when you do biking, so biking is like something like your mountain climbing, like your hiking. It gives you an adrenaline rush. It is not the speed.
Oh.
It is the machine below you which is so powerful, and you contain that machine, you enjoy, but you never go beyond what you can handle. See, biking has taught me one thing. I have unlimited powers in my hand.
Still,
and yes, and I need to restrain up to my capability. So I currently have a Hayabusa whose name is Despoin. So people can look up the name. Despoin means a beautiful Greek goddess, also a mistress. So I always tell to people, I am that lucky person where my wife approves of my mistress, and all three of us live in the same house. So it's a 1400cc, 1340cc Hayabusa. It's a 199 bhp machine. It's the world's fastest production two-wheeler, which reaches from 0 to 100 in only 2.1 seconds. The top speed is 310 kilometers, जो मैंने आज तक कभी अपनाया नहीं, because you can't do it in the Indian roads. It is made for that. But with that great power comes great responsibility to to ride it well. So I have till now completed 38,000 kilometers doing a lot of rides. अभी एक जो ड्रीम बचा है गोल्डन क्वाड्रिलेटरल का 10,000 kilometers across India वो सर्किट पूरा करने का, that normally requires 1 year planning to do. So hopefully after the pandemic 2022 is when I am looking I will be doing that. But trust me, Vinod, it is the greatest stress buster for me. So before the Mumbai metro work started and the roads are in a chaos, I don't ride a lot in Mumbai. But before that, जब भी मेरा ऑफिस का आवर्स पूरा होता था, 7 बजे ऑफिस बंद होता था, I used to go to the garage, take out the bike, wear the jacket, wear the gloves, wear the shoes, go from here to Bangalore reclamation and back in like 1.5 hours. उन दिनों traffic खराब. And that whole thing was such an exhilarating experience that I was ready for the next day to take whatever challenge comes my way. मेरे लिए मेरा जो stress buster है वो bike है. अभी भी अगर mood हो गया तो office खत्म हुआ, I'll take my bike and do a 20-30 kilometer ride and come back. So my roots are very much deep into biking. I've probably done around, with all the bikes put together, 100,000 kilometers till now. And I still enjoy as much as a teen. So now my son is of that age. His first bike will be coming next week now. We should get a delivery next week now. So he'll start like me with a 150cc bike and graduate to become a 1300, 1400cc biker. And one thing that biking has taught me, nothing is impossible. Like people are laughing when I bought my bike at 40. So ये उम्र है भी bike खरीदने. I said, I had a dream in mind that I first want to settle my family, provide for every one of them, including my kids, my wife. So bought whatever real estate is needed for them, provided everything. And then I was like free and there were no EMIs to be paid. And I went and spent like 19 lakh rupees on a motorcycle on a single day. But it's not the money, it is what came with that. Imagine sitting on a bike that is 200 bhp boss. It has to be just experience. I mean, when I speak of it now, abhi mere ko andar hi kuch feel ho raha hai.
Amazing. I think I'm sure everyone who are watching right now can feel that passion for the bike. So tell me, equal passion you have for real estate. So what is that one thing which you would like to share that you are in real estate? What is that one thing you are really enjoying? Which force you to every day morning ask you to go back to the real estate? What is that
तो
one?
इसको संतोष नायर बोलते जीने का कारण, कोर पर्पस एंड कोर वैल्यू. My core purpose is to make 1 million people happy by delivering their dreams to them.
Wow. Very strong. Very strong. Very strong. So I think it was wonderful, interacting with you, Ram. पता नहीं चला कि we 75 minutes, and now we are at a concluding level. So I have few one-liner kind of a question, So I'm
Yes.
sure you're going to also unveil, though people have now understood who Ramprasad Padhi is, but still further, it will unveil your personality as an individual. So what does success means to you?
So success means doing what I like at the time I want to do it.
Wow. And what does money means to you?
Money is a means to fulfill all the dreams and enjoy the dreams later on.
Your favorite book?
Ikigai.
Ikigai. Your favorite place?
My favorite place is Dalhousie.
Dalhousie. Of course, apart from bike, what is your other hobbies?
So I do landscaping and gardening. That is my biggest hobby. In fact, I didn't share this, but I have a company called Green World Landscape, which is a 28-year-old company. It's an older company than my real estate company, where I do professional landscaping and gardening for developers. So one of my biggest projects was in Kondwa, Pune, where I did 112 bungalows 25 years back. So I do landscaping, gardening, but now these days, because the way the money markets are and developers are not good paymasters, I can share this with you, Vinod bhai. I do it with organizations like Rotary, Lions and other not-for-profit organizations. When you do the street plantation, I also help my developers friend when they buy properties, how to guide them to do gardening and society. But I do landscape, gardening and aquariums. These are my hobbies.
Excellent.
And reading, of course, is my biggest. So there's a fixed 45-minute reading every day. I mean, that rule is never broken anytime. Even if it's like I come from my programs at 12 in the night, and before going off to sleep, I take out the iPad and read for 45 minutes before I go back to sleep.
Wow, amazing. So who is your favorite leader from any spheres?
Sorry?
Leader. Your favorite leader?
So, a lot of people have actually influenced me, but if I have to talk of only one leader, I would really give that title to Gandhiji. Because I think he pushed everyone, he made a difference in such a way that everyone's pushed to action to do something about it. And simply many people not doing made them feel guilty. And the whole momentum started with him. Whatever people may say, and there are critics to all that, but yes, but he is one person who made a big change to the world. I wouldn't say only India, a big change to the world.
Any sports personality you admire?
So honestly, I'm not a lot into sports, but yes, one I admire is a guy called Sachin Tendulkar. I find him very energetic, simply very energetic.
I think we are no one without Bollywood. So what is your favorite actor of Bollywood and the film?
Oh, I have only one favorite, that's Sushmita Sen.
Wow.
She is my hot favorite.
Movie.
Sorry, your voice break. I couldn't hear your last question.
Favorite movie?
Oh, which favorite movie? Sholay. So I have seen it more than 50 odd times.
Who is your favorite actor? Actress, you said. Who is your favorite actor?
My favorite actor is Amir Khan.
Amir Khan. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing, Ram. I think it was pleasure. I think even though I knew you for last 24 years, but there are a lot of new things I came to know today, you as a person. And it was wonderful interacting with you. What will be your last message to the next generation, who are watching this program?
So my message to the next generation who's upcoming is, in your formative years, invest in yourself, getting a lot of experience in the things that you love to do, and don't look at the financial side. Money will always flow. So your first 5 years are your truest formative years. Just get a mentor or just get into the work that you want and just put yourself, give your 100% to it. And second thing, never postpone living life.
Excellent. Very good thought. And we have few questions from gentleman Rakesh Agarwal from Bhopal. One, he was talking about that financial institutions like banks do not pay any brokerage in commercial transaction.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And second thing is, please suggest referral fees. You have done TRC course, the referral
Yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What kind of transaction terms between two realtors from one city to other city? How does it work?
Yeah. So I'll answer the first question first. Financial institution like bank don't pay penny brokerage. Yes, many business as intrinsic value, like any government organization doesn't recognize the real estate consultant. Okay. But in that matter, what happens is your landlords are more than happy to compensate you because you're getting a good bank. So as I said in the beginning, I know of landlords who have paid us between 2 months to 4 months brokerage also, where you dealt with banks specially. So you can always get a compensation with the bank. But one thing good about today is, and especially I got this connection in BNI, now banks are engaging you to sell their distressed assets. See, there's a big market. So Vinod, when we spoke of vertical, I would like to point out selling distressed assets is one of the biggest vertical brokers don't look. So I am very happy to share that one of the most reputed public sector bank uh, put a panel broker as Mumbai Properties for the first time in the career because we went and represented them. Today, we are selling close to 200 of their property in Gujarat and Maharashtra as distressed assets, where they are paying you full 1% brokerage with GST. So now when they are on the other side, they need to pay. So it is how you get it to your benefit is more important. Not see, some companies will simply not pay. So you take it from the landlord and do it. Second question is for the referral, if I understand well. So I will tell you the practice I follow, which I've been very happy. So what happens is whenever I go for trainings to other association, I make it a point to stay one extra full day. I take the last flight out of the city to Mumbai. I go and meet the top 6, 8, 10 brokers. And I always request the president and secretary of that association to take me across. And they're very gracious. So I had this lovely thing from Amit Chopra from Goa Association of Realtors. I stayed one full day. My last flight was 11:30 night. We met 14 brokers in Goa that day. We traveled across the length and breadth of Goa and I met. And the same day night when I was in the flight, we were exchanging listings in Mumbai. Within 1.5 months, I did a 14 crore transaction in Bandra, where the inventory belonged to his client and the client was not mine but a Bandra broker, and we three collaborated. Now, when we do business like this, there are two things. If you're an active partner, that means if Rakeshji, you offer me a property in Mumbai and you will come in Mumbai and do the deal with me, I'm happy to share brokerage. But if it's a referral, normally we have a fee between 20 to 30% of the brokerage given by your client. So if you give me a property to sell in Bandra, which is 10 crores, and I do everything, the fee that your client will pay, we will be happy to pay you a 20 to 30% fee straight away to you directly, irrespective of what we get from our client or if there's another broker concern. So a 20 to 30%, in my opinion, is a good referral fee. If there is only exchange of numbers and contacts, that's it. But if you're going to, like, I am dealing, Vinod Bhai, right now with a 53 CR bungalow in Bangalore, where the client has given me the mandate from Mumbai. So every time I fly down to Bangalore, when there are 5, 6 customers, I'm dealing with the top 3 brokers of BRI and NAR India for the transaction. So I am getting my brokerage from because it's a big trade and they have a mandate with me. But if I don't fly and if I have given the number to their Ayub Bhai, then, I will only ask for a 20% referral fee. So I would say a 20, 30% referral fee is good enough.
Excellent. So there is one question coming from Facebook Live. Mr. Kalpesh is asking, how can I become a member of AREA or NAR India?
So, Kalpesh, you have to apply to AREA group. We are online at www.area.in, or if you can write down the number, it's 28013434. That is the number of AREA group office. So AREA's membership is between Dahisar to Bandra. If you are in this location, you can apply for membership to AREA. You can go to the website www.area.in, see the membership criteria, and see who the members are. See if you like it, you can join AREA. Now, NAR India is not an association. It is an association of association, which means it's an umbrella federation for all the credible real estate associations in India. So if you want to become a member of NAR, you have to become a member of the NAR City Association, which is in Mumbai. We have in the Western Suburb 2 association, AREA and REEC. In the south, we have SMART. In Kalyan Dombivli, we have KDRA. In Navi Mumbai, we have NMAR. In Thane, we have Thane State Industries of India. So these locations, you apply to be a member first there. Automatically, you become an NAR India member by paying a nominal fee of 1180 rupees per year to NAR India.
Great. Friends, thank you, Ram, for your wonderful sharing. And I'm sure today you must have got amazing, unlimited tools to become a successful realtor on this platform while interacting with Mr. Realtor Ramprasad Padhi from Borivali. So, on behalf of all the viewers out there and on behalf of the team of Broker Ki Paathshala, we would like to present a small appreciation certificate, which we do. You know that I am associated with Rotary, and at Rotary we are doing one project called Annapurna to feed. There is a goal of feeding 1 million students. So please accept this certificate on behalf of Broker.
Thank you.
Initiative by Square Feet Foundation. Certificate of appreciation to express our gratitude to Mr. Ramprasad Padhi, CEO of Mumbai Properties Consulting Private Limited, for his gracious and significant contribution in making Broker Ki Paathshala a great success. We are pleased to sponsor 100 meals under Annapurna project by Rotary Club of Mumbai, Daisar, which will provide food for the underprivileged. Today on 26 February 2021. Once again, thank you, Ram, for being there.
Thank you.
Please stay back before I announce the next Friday's speaker on the Broker Ki Paathshala Season 2. We chose Friday because every Friday we all are very much associated with Bollywood. So every Friday here on Broker Ki Paathshala, we unveil the amazing story of a realtor across the country. So next Friday, please log into Broker Ki Paathshala Season 2, Session 8, from Narayan's Corp, Mr. Chetan D. Narayan and Mr. Sanjeev Narayan. I am sure these two youngsters, two dynamic leaders of our industry, are going to share some amazing stories from their life journey as a realtor, which will definitely help many of us. So before I conclude, Ramprasad, final word from your side, your experience being part of this wonderful Paathshala.
Thank you. So it's been a wonderful experience. In fact, the way you conducted this session was, I came to know certain things about me today only. So thank you, Vinod Bhai, for inviting, and congratulations for taking up this initiative. I think let this be a lifelong initiative. Let every Friday be a Broker Ki Paathshala class, where how I block my RICL class for 6:30 to 8:30, I should block my time also for this from 5 to 6. So all the best, Vinod Bhai, and thank you for inviting me.
We will definitely need your support in innovating this platform. I don't know when I started how it is going to happen, but now slowly when I took a step by step, I think a lot of people like you are coming together and helping me formulating the future of this wonderful Broker Ki Paathshala. Once again, on behalf of everyone, thank you very much, Ramprasad.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful week ahead, and see you on next Friday with one more fresh episode of Broker Ki Paathshala.
Thank you so much. Namaskar.